Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Today's another transfer video. In Monday's video, you'll have seen how we talked about the fact that really what we need from this window now, as it's coming to the end of the window, is a fullback, a right back, preferably who can play left back as well. Because when you actually look at our fullback options now, you have Junior Firpo and Sam Byron for left back, both of which who are very, very injury prone. And for right back, you've got Archie Gray and you've got Jamie Shackleton, both of which who have done a good job at times at right back. Well, in fact, Archie Gray especially has done a really good job. But primarily our centre midfielders and all our left backs are injury prone. And to extenuate that even more, we have Stuart Dallas, who can play left back but has been out with a broken leg for God knows how long, and we have no idea what sort of form he's going to come back into when he comes back, or if he can manage to even make it to the level. So again, we've lost Luke Ayling, we've lost Jed Spence, and now we've lost Leo Hjelde as of today to Sunderland on a permanent deal. So we literally came into this window, and I saw someone tweet this before, so shout out to you if it was you who tweeted it. I can't remember who it was. Sorry about that. But they tweeted, we came into this window needing a fullback. We've got rid of 3 instead of gaining one. We've lost 3. And it's a big issue. The most recent, though, and the transfer we're going to talk about today in today's video, is Joe Worrall, who plays his football for Nottingham Forest. Now, Joe Worrall's a centre-back, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him play a couple of times at full-back as well. But it worries me, this signing, this potential signing. It's rumoured to be in the region of £6 million that Forest are asking for, with a couple of clubs interested, including Leeds United. And if they want to get the deal done before the deadline, they're going to have to cough up and pay around £6 million, which to me is a lot of money. You are looking at basically another version of Chris Mepham. When we talked about Chris Mepham a few weeks ago, those of you who did watch that video, we talked about how the fact that he's a very competent defender and decent as a defensive player at stopping the ball going in the back of the net, which a lot of you, and especially people who think about football in a more pragmatic sense, shall we say, will realise that that's kind of what a defender's for. That is their primary function. But when you're playing in such a dominant team like this, you do need them to have more than that. We are going to talk about a little bit about Joe Worrall's statistics and stuff over the last 365 days. Now, this is compared to the top 5 leagues, Champions League, Europa League, things like that, over the last 365 days, based on the amount of minutes that Joe Worrall has played. So let's have a look then. The first thing we're going to talk about is his passing, because this is the thing that I think is a worrying sign. When you want somebody to come in and play in that centre-back role, you kind of want them to be able to progress the ball, and you want them to be able to play out from the back. And that's what we've got with Joe Rodon. It's got what we've got with Pascal Struijk. It's what we've got with Liam Cooper even as well. And then obviously you've got Charlie Cresswell waiting in the wings, who apparently is back in the good graces of Daniel Farkenau, or certainly working his way into being that way. Passes attempted 40.19, which puts him in the 13th percentile. Now, that's not the end of the world, because in the Premier League, Forest are a team who their primary objective, let's be honest, is to stay in the league. And so they're not going to be a dominant possession-based team all the time. And that shows and bears out in the statistics. Obviously, Joe Worrall has fallen down in the pecking order a little bit for Nottingham Forest, but his passing can be explained by the fact that they're just not going to have the ball that much, and that would go up massively if he were to be playing in the Championship. Pass completion rate, 76.3%. For a centre-back, that puts him in the 7th percentile, so the bottom 7% of all centre-backs compared to him. That's not a great pass completion rate, but again, in the Championship, it's less likely that you're going to have teams flying at you. Most teams don't fly at you. There are a few teams that will come and press you. But Joe Worrall is somebody who his his pass completion rate would go through the roof if he was to sign for somebody like Leeds, because we're going to have the ball so much and dominate at the back, so that can kind of be explained away. But his progressive passes, 2.11, puts him in the 14th percentile. Progressive carries, which is what we talked about before with Joe Rodon breaking lines and dragging the team up the pitch. Pascal Struijk doing it as well. Progressive carries, 0.12, which puts him in the 4th percentile, the bottom 4% of all of those players. So it's interesting, really, because passing wise and getting the ball forward, carrying the ball forward, it's really, really low. It does look bleak for his statistics in that sense. Touches in the attacking penalty area, 1.56 per 90, puts him in the 93rd percentile for defenders. So that paired with his non-penalty goals of 0.06 per 90, which puts him in the 73rd percentile, shows that he's pretty decent in the air and wins headers from corners. He gets touches on things, he gets flicks on things, and can find himself in the box at not regular intervals, but at certain points in the game, he will have made his way forward and tried to get on the end of something. So that's a positive sign, I think. And also, then when you look at his tackles, blocks, clearances, and aerials tackles 1.8 per 90, 73rd percentile, blocks 1.32, so just above average at 56th percentile. Clearances 5.41 puts him in the 94th percentile, and aerials 2.47, which puts him in the 67th percentile. All of those things, like I said at the start, point to him being an all-round good defender, a solid defender, somebody who you would expect to make the clearances they need to make the tackles they need to make. But the thing about Leeds and being in the Championship specifically is that when we are playing against teams who realistically aren't going to be battering the door down all the time, he's not going to be needed to be that solid, if you get what I mean. He's also going to be in the pecking order behind Joe Rodon and behind Pascal Struijk. So to me, to pay £6 million for somebody like that, I think the club are going to go, do you know what? That's a no-go for us. I think that's too much money, and especially because when you go back up to the Premier League, I think he's a decent Championship defender, Joe Worrall. I think he's a good Championship defender. I don't think he's Premier League standard, and I think if you do go up, if we did get promoted, it's not the right thing to do to make this signing now for £6 million, because then you've got him on a long contract and you've got to try and shift him again and get rid of him again when you go up, if you go up. So for me, just like the Chris Mepham deal, it makes no sense in terms of the statistics. Obviously, there's the eye test and there's some mitigating factors, and we have mentioned those throughout the video, to be fair to the player and to the rumour. We do like to see both sides of the argument. So for me, I think there are certainly improvements that will be made when you look at his statistics coming down to the Championship. I think he'll have a higher pass completion rate. He'll have higher passing attempts in general. He'll probably carry the ball a little bit more than what he does now. And his defensive statistics might go down slightly because he's not having to face those things as much, how many tackles and stuff he makes. So I think it will bear out at a little bit more of an average, a happy medium for Joe Worrall, but I just don't think that he's good enough to make a notable difference in the side. That's my conclusion. That's my summary of Joe Worrall. I think he's a very similar signing to what somebody like Chris Mepham would have been, and this is almost the exact same review that I gave. It's an underwhelming centre-back for too much money, and it's not going to make a difference to us. And like I said in Monday's video, what we need is a right back. This is the first time I've made a video since the Daiki Hashioka, I couldn't remember his name, Daiki Hashioka rumours came out, and I just want to gloat a little bit because it's the first time I've done a video where it's a scouting report and it's somebody that we hadn't previously been linked with, which we were then linked with. I don't think that one's completely dead in the water yet, because if I'm right, at time of recording, he's not actually signed with Luton or anything like that yet. But watch this space, because like I said, he would have been a fantastic signing for us. And when I did that scout report, I wasn't actually expecting Leeds to show any interest. But yeah, thanks for watching Leeds Lately. There'll be more content on the way throughout the end of this transfer window, so basically just tomorrow. And also there will be... it's transfer deadline day on Thursday, isn't it? Not Wednesday. I don't know. whatever happens, there'll be more videos. There'll be plenty of stuff for you to watch. And then on Friday night, there will be a live watch along and a match reaction and all that good stuff. So plenty to subscribe for. So hit that big button down below. Where is it? There we go. Wait. Oh, there we go. Hit that button down below, and I shall see you next time on Leeds Lately.